You've probably heard that eating only meat is dangerous, that it can lead to vitamin deficiencies, constipation, high cholesterol, kidney damage, or even cancer. But what if I told you that most of these so-called risks are either misunderstood or exaggerated? And what if there were evidence showing that you could reduce inflammation, improve your blood markers, and support heart health simply by eating meat? Would you be willing to give it a second look? In this video, I'll walk you through 7 commonly cited dangers of the carnivore diet and break down what's real and what's based on misinformation. You'll learn exactly what your body needs, what it doesn't, and how to approach this way of eating without falling into fear-based thinking. The question is, are you ready to challenge what you've always believed to be true? One of the most common warnings against the carnivore diet is the risk of vitamin C deficiency leading to scurvy. This is an old disease that once caused deaths among sailors who went months without fresh produce at sea. But the question is, why don't modern-day meat eaters develop scurvy? First, the body's need for vitamin C drops significantly when refined carbohydrates are removed from the diet. Low insulin levels improve the body's ability to retain and recycle vitamin C. Also, vitamin C and glucose compete for the same transport pathways into cells, so when sugar intake is low, vitamin C can enter cells more efficiently. Second, fresh meat, especially when not overcooked, and organ meats like liver, kidney, pancreas, and adrenal glands contain small but highly bioavailable amounts of vitamin C. While not as abundant as in fruit, in a metabolically stable environment with low oxidative stress, those amounts are often enough to maintain normal physiological function. In long-term carnivore communities, there is no solid medical evidence of actual scurvy cases. In fact, many people report reduced inflammation, improved gum health, and steady energy, all of which would deteriorate early if vitamin C were truly lacking. The bottom line is this: vitamin C deficiency is not a valid concern on a properly implemented carnivore diet. What's more dangerous is believing that only fruit can supply vitamin C, while overlooking the nutrient-rich animal foods your body may absorb more efficiently. A common belief in modern nutrition is that fiber is essential for digestion, and that without vegetables you'll get constipated or even increase your risk of colon cancer. But if you've ever tried the carnivore diet, you may have experienced the opposite: less bloating, fewer stomach cramps, and easier bowel movements, despite eating little to no fiber. So what's really going on? First, fiber is not an essential nutrient. Your body doesn't digest fiber. It simply passes through the digestive tract and interacts with gut bacteria. In some people, soluble fiber can help soften stool, but for many others, especially those with irritable bowel syndrome, it can increase bloating, cramping, and abdominal pain. A clinical study published in the journal Gastroenterology showed that patients with chronic constipation who completely removed fiber from their diet had significantly improved bowel frequency, while those who continued eating high-fiber diets saw their symptoms worsen. This suggests that fiber is not always the solution, and in some cases, it may be part of the problem. Second, when you're eating carnivore, your stool volume typically decreases because your body absorbs nearly all the nutrients from animal-based foods. Smaller, less frequent, and low-odor stools are normal. This isn't a sign of constipation. It's the natural result of a diet with minimal indigestible waste. Also, the link between high fiber intake and reduced colorectal cancer risk is observational. In randomized controlled trials, increasing fiber has not been shown to reduce the rate of polyps or cancer. More important risk factors include chronic inflammation, high insulin levels, and damage to the gut lining, issues that often improve when you remove sugar, vegetable oils, and refined carbs from your diet. In summary, fiber is not the only way to support digestive health. In many cases, reducing or removing fiber can actually improve digestion, especially when you eat enough healthy fats, stay well hydrated, and move your body regularly. Another common concern about the carnivore diet is that it may reduce gut microbiome diversity, potentially leading to inflammatory bowel disease, immune dysfunction, or metabolic disorders. This fear stems from the belief that more bacterial diversity in the gut is always better. But is that really the case? In reality, not all microbial diversity is beneficial. Some bacteria produce toxins, promote inflammation, or cause gas, bloating, and diarrhea. When you consume a diet high in sugar, starch, or plant foods that don't agree with your body, those disruptive bacteria can thrive. On the other hand, the carnivore diet, by eliminating fermentable carbs and fiber, can reduce the overgrowth of problematic species. Emerging studies show that while overall microbial diversity may decrease on a meat-based diet, markers of inflammation like CRP and IL-6 often improve, suggesting a more stable immune response. Digestive symptoms such as bloating, IBS, and chronic diarrhea also tend to improve significantly. There's also an interesting finding. Ketone bodies produced during low-carb eating can serve a similar role to butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid made from fiber fermentation. Butyrate fuels the cells lining your colon, but in fiber-free diets, ketones like beta-hydroxybutyrate appear to support gut lining health in a comparable way. Additionally, some people are sensitive to plant compounds like oxalates, lectins, or FODMAPs. When they switch to carnivore, these triggers are removed, giving the gut microbiome a chance to rebalance and the digestive system an opportunity to heal. This doesn't weaken the immune system, it allows it to function more efficiently. In short, the gut microbiome is a living, adaptable ecosystem that responds to its environment. Carnivore doesn't destroy your microbiome. It helps eliminate bacterial strains that may not be serving you. What matters most is how your body responds, not generalized fears based on one-size-fits-all assumptions. A common question people ask when following the carnivore diet is whether eating only meat will cause salt intake to skyrocket, potentially raising blood pressure, causing water retention, or harming the kidneys. This concern is understandable, especially for those who've been told for decades to limit salt. But the reality is more complex.
First, it's important to understand that not everyone needs to restrict salt. The widespread salt reduction guidelines are based on the assumption that high sodium intake leads to water retention, elevated blood pressure, and increased cardiovascular strain. However, many recent studies have shown that the effect of salt on blood pressure depends heavily on insulin levels and an individual's overall metabolic state. On a carnivore diet, insulin levels drop significantly due to the absence of refined carbohydrates. When insulin is low, the kidneys excrete more sodium. As a result, the body tends to lose salt along with potassium, magnesium, and water. This explains why many people on low-carb diets experience fatigue, dizziness, muscle cramps, or low blood pressure, not from excess salt, but from a deficiency. In this context, increasing sodium intake through quality salt or foods like bacon and bone broth becomes essential to maintain electrolyte balance, blood pressure, and energy. For older adults in particular, proper sodium intake can support blood flow, reduce headaches, prevent muscle weakness, and improve stamina. What about the kidneys? There is no evidence that consuming more salt than average in a sugar-free, unprocessed diet harms healthy kidneys. In fact, when you control blood sugar, lipids, and blood pressure, the main drivers of kidney disease, renal function is often preserved over time. In summary, salt on the carnivore diet is not harmful. It's a necessary part of maintaining homeostasis and preventing electrolyte imbalances. The key is to tailor your sodium intake to match your health status, activity level, and how your body responds. For decades, saturated fat and cholesterol from red meat, eggs, and animal fat have been blamed as leading causes of atherosclerosis and heart attacks. This has been one of the main reasons the carnivore diet is often labeled as dangerous for heart health. However, recent studies have raised serious questions about that long-held assumption. First, it's important to understand that cholesterol is an essential component of the human body. It plays a structural role in cell membranes and serves as a building block for sex hormones, vitamin D, and bile acids. Nearly 80% of the cholesterol in your blood is produced by your own body, not from the food you eat. That means when dietary cholesterol intake is low, your liver makes more, and when intake increases, production naturally adjusts down. Second, not all LDL cholesterol is the same. There are two main types, small dense LDL particles and large less dense ones. It's the small dense LDL that is more prone to oxidation and contributes to inflammation in blood vessels. A diet high in saturated fat but low in carbohydrates typically raises the large buoyant LDL while lowering triglycerides and increasing HDL, all changes that are associated with improved cardiovascular outcomes. A major meta-analysis published in journals like the BMJ and Annals of Internal Medicine concluded there is no convincing evidence that saturated fat intake increases the risk of heart disease or early death. In fact, many people following the carnivore diet report stable blood pressure, lower blood sugar, reduced inflammatory markers, and consistent energy, key signs of improved cardiovascular health.
The bigger issue isn't saturated fat itself, but the overall metabolic state of the individual. If you're eating large amounts of sugar, refined carbs, and seed oils alongside saturated fat, you're more likely to experience inflammation and lipid imbalances. But in the carnivore context, where insulin remains low and there is no blood sugar spike or endothelial damage, saturated fat is effectively used as a fuel source. In short, saturated fat should not be demonized across the board. For those following a well-structured carnivore diet, blood lipid markers and cardiovascular risk often improve rather than worsen. What matters most is clinical monitoring through regular lab work, not fear based on outdated guidelines. One of the most common beliefs in modern nutrition is that you need plant compounds like polyphenols, flavonoids, and carotenoids to fight oxidative stress, protect your cells, and prevent chronic disease. So if you're eating only meat and no fruits or vegetables, are you stripping away your body's natural defenses? To answer that, we first need to clarify that phytochemicals are not essential nutrients. There is no evidence showing that a lack of polyphenols or flavonoids causes death, disease, or metabolic dysfunction. These compounds may offer benefits in the context of an unhealthy lifestyle, but they are not required to maintain good health. In fact, many plant compounds act as mild stressors through a process called hormesis. They trigger a small oxidative response, which in turn activates your body's internal defense systems like glutathione, superoxide dismutase, SOD, and catalase. It's similar to exercise, mild stress that trains the body. But if your body is not inflamed, your blood sugar is stable, and you're not dealing with chronic cellular damage, this added stress may be unnecessary. One of the unique features of the carnivore diet is that it significantly reduces baseline oxidative stress by eliminating refined sugars, industrial seed oils, gluten, and inflammatory additives. When the body is no longer under constant assault from processed carbohydrates and packaged foods, it requires fewer external antioxidants because internal systems can work more effectively. Animal-based foods also provide numerous micronutrients with antioxidant functions, such as selenium, zinc, active vitamin A, retinol, vitamin E, and B vitamins like B2 and B6. These nutrients play critical roles in cellular protection, DNA repair, and neutralizing free radicals. But they're often overlooked when the focus is solely on plant-based compounds. In summary, phytochemicals can be beneficial in certain contexts, but they are not essential for health. A nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory, metabolically stable diet like carnivore can support cellular protection without relying on plant compounds. What matters most is understanding the underlying mechanisms, monitoring your health with real clinical data, and avoiding conclusions based on any single nutrient. One of the most common warnings in mainstream nutrition is to avoid processed meats like bacon, sausage, and deli cuts because they contain nitrites or nitrates, compounds believed to increase cancer risk, particularly colorectal cancer. But how dangerous is this risk really, and does the carnivore diet expose you to more cancer-causing agents? The truth is, nitrites and nitrates are naturally occurring compounds found in many foods, not just meat. In fact, the majority of nitrates you consume each day come from vegetables, especially spinach, celery, and beets. Your body also produces nitrates internally from nitric oxide, a molecule essential for regulating blood pressure and vascular function. When nitrites interact with protein in acidic environments like the stomach, they can form nitrosamines, compounds shown to cause cancer in animals at extremely high doses. But whether or not nitrosamines form depends on many factors, including stomach pH and the presence of vitamin C, which inhibits their formation. In practical terms, nitrosamine levels from properly cooked processed meats consumed within an anti-inflammatory diet are extremely low. Moreover, studies have shown a real but modest increase in colorectal cancer risk associated with processed meats. The relative risk goes up by about 15 to 20%, but that doesn't mean the absolute risk becomes high. More importantly, most of these studies are observational and don't fully control for confounding factors like smoking, alcohol use, obesity, high sugar intake, and lack of exercise. Within the context of a well-formulated carnivore diet free of sugar, industrial seed oils, and ultra-processed foods, the potential impact of processed meats is minimal. In fact, you can easily choose nitrate-free meats or traditionally dry-cured products and cook them at moderate temperatures to reduce the formation of nitrosamines even further. In summary, concerns about processed meat need to be viewed within the larger context of your overall diet and lifestyle. Eating bacon with soda and white bread is not the same as eating bacon with eggs and avocado. Rather than eliminating it entirely, focus on how you source, prepare, and combine your food, and pay attention to how your body responds. Carnivore isn't about eating nothing but bacon, it's about understanding the quality and impact of the foods you choose to eat each day. After reviewing all 7 of the most common concerns surrounding the carnivore diet, it becomes clear that most fears stem from incomplete assumptions, observational studies that fail to control for confounding variables, or misapplied context. We live in a world where sugar, ultra-processed foods, industrial seed oils, and chronic stress are the root causes of modern disease. In this landscape, a way of eating that removes those inflammatory drivers deserves a fair and balanced reevaluation. Carnivore isn't the only option, and it's not the right fit for everyone. But for many people dealing with type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, chronic inflammation, or long-standing gut issues caused by medications and poor dietary habits, it can be a powerful, simple, and reliable tool for healing. The most important takeaway is this: don't blindly accept absolute claims, whether for or against. Test things for yourself, listen to your body, track your blood work, and pay close attention to how you feel in daily life. If your energy improves, your sleep deepens, your digestion stabilizes, and your labs look better, those are signs you're heading in the right direction. If this video helped you gain a clearer perspective on the carnivore diet and let go of some unnecessary fears, please share it with others who may be just as confused as you once were. And don't forget to hit the follow button so you won't miss upcoming guides on how to start carnivore the right way, how to pair your foods, which lab tests matter, and how to maintain this lifestyle long-term without compromising your heart health. Taking care of your health isn't about picking sides, it's about choosing understanding. And true understanding always begins with asking the right questions.